We recognize that when these young women are done with their playing days, it will be an adjustment for them. It will be literally a transition. And so the point of the program is to give them some tips and some tools and some food for thought as they think about what life might look like after basketball.
The opportunity to just pause and have these conversations, to bring in people from different areas of the industry, talk with them with what it means to be a professional, because it's been, grassroots basketball, high school basketball, collegiate basketball for so long for them, and now they're going to be stepping into a new world.
Especially being a senior, I'm looking at that sooner than later, and just to know that there's relationships and connections out there that care about you and want to see you succeed after basketball is awesome.
What really stood out to me was how everyone was just so open and willing to stay connected and help with everything. They say that Big East is a family, and that right there alone proves that. I mean, you obviously come around and you kind of recognize faces. If there's some new people, you're meeting them for the first time. But it's nice to see them in not in a non-competitive environment, and just kind of know that we're all here to learn and help each other and make relationships.
It's so fun. My teammates and I were joking. We were like, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. Getting to know everybody, getting to see everybody outside of their uniform. What's your major? Where are you from? It's really nice to see people as human beings and not just your opponent. And it's nice to know that you're a part of something bigger than yourself, full of these wonderful people.
Well, I think one of the best panels here is our former player panel. We very deliberately bring in women who have played for Big East schools, so that gives it an extra level of resonance with the athletes. I'm always very struck by how on they are, how much they can relate to the audience and vice versa.
I think people would always tell me, you're an athlete, so you're going to be so marketable and people want to hire athletes. And I never really knew what that meant until I started being in the workforce and even working with other athletes that, playing in the Big East, playing women's basketball, being at the D1 level, you just have this discipline and drive and inner motivation that when you translate that to the business world or whatever field you're looking for, I think you're ultimately going to be successful because you just have those and you've learned those and you've been given the tools by your coaches, by your teammates, by people in the Big East Conference to really help you build with that.
And so I think it's so important for the Big East not to just look at them as athletes, but looking at them as student athletes and who they're going to be after school. That's something that I received from the Big East my 4 years, and something clearly a lot of these girls are experiencing.
Once they kind of warm up and they, I think, relax a little and listen to what our speakers have to say and understand it's for their benefit, I think they dive in, they ask questions, and they engage with one another.
I've seen that the conversation has become a more readily accepted topic of conversation, even among student athletes. I think the challenge continues to be, how do we help student athletes know and recognize and embrace that taking care of their mental health is equally important for them.
I think it's just continuing to get better. As we look at how we support our student athletes, we don't want to just support them on the court or the field or whatever it is. It's in life and helping in the transition from their days after sport.
Our commitment to this event every year is true. And we look forward every year to getting the feedback from the athletes so we know how we can make it even better for the next group.